We all must take precautionary measure if love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, oh, that love is in need of love today. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. It's morning here, so very early in the morning. And I want to say, welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. Um, I'm very disturbed by um information that I received about some of these people. And I got to speak to the parents today, especially in particular, my black parents out here. Okay? I know this system got us so rigged up that sometimes we got to work 3 and 4 jobs just to make one paycheck. And because of the situation, a lot of times if you're not very educated um, on certain things, you are perpetual underclass, which is pretty much what white supremacy has deemed us to be, a permanent underclass. So I have to ask a question to my black moms and dads is, do we really expect a system, a structure that has lied to us about religion, education, um, our history, their history, just everything? Do you really expect a system like that to educate your children honestly? And if we have been educated to the fullest, and some of us still haven't been able to accomplish anything but maybe individual accolades, collectively we haven't made um, the strides for freedom, isn't it maybe something that we should challenge ourselves to see if we can start going outside the system of white supremacy? Because anytime you got a teacher that is telling a girl that she's dumb and that she only is going to be good for making babies and having sex, we're in trouble. If we're sending our children to these institutions and thinking that they're being educated, and you got people that are talking to and thinking this about your damn child, um, and we in trouble. So I contend we already, matter of fact, we worse than in trouble. The damn TNT is being lit on both ends. Okay, both sides are lit. Okay, so you already know what's gonna happen when they get here. Kaboom. Okay, so with that being said, we have been adjured the responsibility now. By the way, that teacher, I don't know if I mentioned it, was in Greensboro, Georgia, and his name was Corey Hunter. Okay, and how dare him? He's a agent of white supremacy. But my point is, um, we're gonna have to get back to bartering. We really are going to have to get back to some of the things that we did before, or even during the time of Reconstruction. We're going to have to get back to bartering. We're going to have to get back to homeschooling. And if this doesn't happen, then we are going to continue to have situations like you got in Texas, where the school system tried to make the indentured servants the same thing as the slaves that they stole and kidnapped from Africa. And until the people rebelled so much and they went at it so hard with that, I think that they suspended it or something. I'm not really sure, so I'm not going to speak on that. But my problem with us is that most of us, we can't even be asked 3 questions deep or 5 questions deep about something that we say we love so much. Let's take for religion, for instance. We'll claim Christianity, claim Jesus, claim, that, and nobody can't even ask you 3 questions. I ain't gonna even say 5. 3 questions deep about your religion without you being crazy and getting mad and not being able to answer the question. Just some emotional, uh, ignorant response. That's pitiful. If your belief system is based off what your mama and your grandmama and your great grandmama and your great grandmama was told, and they were told when they got off the holes of slave ships, because it definitely wasn't what they were believing when they first got on, then that's a problem. And especially that you don't even care to educate yourself enough to even know that, and you the mother or the father, then yet that family is already in trouble, because there's an old African proverb that says, know thyself. Okay, no, you don't even know who you are. Granted, we are hybrids. Granted, yes, we are all mixed up. Yes, but there was a history before all that mix up. Okay, now if I was to go to AAA and tell them I'm a drunkard, or I'm a CA, go to Cocaine's Anonymous and tell them I'm a cocaine user, the first thing they're gonna do is start. Let's take this 12 step. Let's get back to where it began. I ain't even saying 12 step again. Y'all can't even go 3 steps back to a question about your education. Who gave it to you? And is maybe think why collectively we can't do nothing. There's no energy with all these educated black people. Some of us have ran cities before. We've been mayors, police chiefs, and all this. But collectively, we still operate and still feel like we slaves. We don't own anything. We're not a part of the American dream. And I know that a lot of white folks say, yeah, individually, we got our Oprahs and you got the LeBrons and all this kind of crazy stuff, And I say crazy stuff because now we got all the kids aspiring to be basketball players instead of scientists because of the programming. So you already going to have enough obstacles to go against when your children, begin to grow up and grow out as you should. So you mean tell me it's not important to make sure that the foundation is at least strong? In order to build a nice house, you have to have a strong foundation. So how dare you let these agents and angels of white supremacy raise our babies? How can we? How can we afford to take our most valuable commodities? And if we want them to be better than us, we don't want them to be slaves. We don't want them to regurgitate the same shit we had to regurgitate. We want them to build. We want to build new Africans, new black folk. That's in America. Not trying to weed us all out and make us all lighter and lighter, and lighter and lighter and lighter. No. That's not what's happening. That's not what we need to focus on here. In all honesty, we really, really need to get back to the truth. And most of us do know that the truth is what makes you free. So if you are Christian and you can't answer 3 questions, you can't even go back to the Council of Nicaea, you don't even know the connection between Rome and the Pope and all that gold and stuff that Alexander the Great stole and his cronies and the rest of the people, invaders of Africa, that stole all that gold and put it in the Vatican, yet you worship in the Vatican and looking at that as but you don't see it as yourself. That means you got some work to do. If you believe in Jesus and all that stuff, and you don't even know what a Council of Nicene is or a Council of Trent, then you can't really have an intelligent conversation. You can only have a conversation as when it comes to Jesus and all that kind of stuff right there. So think about your education. That means you've been brainwashed. And guess what? You don't have the courage to even find out if it's a lie or not. That's what's scary. So we have to get back to bartering, because if we are going to bring in healthy children again, we have to barter some services. Maybe I know I'm the seamstress of the neighborhood, and Miss Jones down the street takes care of the children. She does them well, and there's no pedophile and sex offenders and alcoholics and drug addicts in her home. You know, and we can let her implement some positive stuff in the children. And then we got to start cleaning up our own homes. You know, if we doing all that stuff, I'm not saying trying to police anybody's home. What I am saying is, can we have enough respect for the children to not do it in front of them? Have your own freak out room. And then the children to know you can't come in the freak out. This is mommy's space, mommy's room, and she don't feel good or whatever. This is mommy's spot. Find you a little corner somewhere. Okay? But the bottom line is, we cannot continue to send our children to school to be treated and talked to this way and to even be thought about this way. We cannot continue to allow them to have all this religious dogma that gives no power. That's just a bunch of spewed ignorance. That sounds like a Donald Trump rally, whether it's on the Christian side or the Muslim side. It sounds like a Donald Trump rally. We have to be able to educate our children. Okay? And other communities are doing it. And if your mindset with your money, because black people have plenty of money, they got money, more money than some countries. And if the gist of your money is just how many clothes you can buy, how many rims you can buy, and how many, cars and yada 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 yada, then you're part of the problem. You really are. I mean, really, because you own nothing. And since you have so much money, I mean, I'm glad for you. Maybe you can find an investment team, and we can start getting into some manufacturers and factories and try with all this money we got. Why aren't we even trying to get a factory? Where is the lost arts, the agriculturists and the shoemakers we got to get back to taking care of ourselves again, y'all. And if we can't do it, we have to be able to teach it to our children so we can be self-sufficient. Or we're going to continue to be perpetually miserable. A perpetual fifth class citizen. Because everybody is buying up and getting a firm down payment and buying up America, except for us. We are just perpetual consumers. But we got so much more talent. We sell all our talent to the world. That's why I know that we talented. Look at us. Everybody feeds all of us. But we can't figure out how to collectively. If all the black athletes decided today they wouldn't play basketball anymore, the NBA would fold. It would fold. And if you think you're going to get all those people to go out to see all them European players, you are absolutely out of your damn mind. If all these agents who are sending their kids to college off of LeBron James, and we sitting up here laughing, oh yeah, he got this money. Do you imagine? And I'm not going to mention him because at least he got a better blueprint with Maverick Carter and those guys. So let me take that back. Most other brothers, they get an agent. They're broke within 3 to 5 years, all that money. But the agent that handle their money, they great grandkids are gonna still have some money. You understand what I mean? Britney Spears, her great grandkids gonna be rich. That don't happen for us because we don't know those dynamics. It's three things we haven't been taught: the art of business, the real science of it. I'm sorry, three sciences. I shouldn't have said art because that's what we learn, the arts of it. The science. What's the intricacies of it? Let me tell you. And one is business. We don't know. Oh, we know how to be business majors. Remember I said the science. Okay? And the other one is mating. Because we do everything and with everybody, and we don't know that it's a correlation between the mate that you pick and the kind of life that you're going to have. We just, because of the plantation experience, we just fucking everybody. And it hasn't been a precise thought process of, it used to be. It used to be. That was all bred out of us, though. That's why, and there are certain things that happen on a cycle. That's on a spiritual level. That's why you can get, how many? You can get 10 women and put them in a room together and put them in there for 3 months and they'll all start their cycle at the same time. That's because there's some things that happen with us that is spiritual. Okay? Now, so you got the art of business. The science of business that you've never been taught. They've never been taught the science of mating. Okay? Because if you did, you'd pick the right mate, and we would pick the right mates. It wouldn't even be a problem. And even if it didn't work out with us, it would have ain't no bearing on what they thought about their pyramids and the offspring and the family unit. Okay? Look at white folks, they get divorced every day, so, and look at other groups and whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And lastly is the science of warfare. But they learned to fight from Shaka Zulu. That's the blueprint from your great ancestor. It's how they run the armies and all the armed services today. Isn't that something? Amazing. So, unless you really know who you are, it's going to really be kind of hard for you to educate your children. So then guess what? We learn it together. And we're going to have to do a better job of creating better and new people. Because we can't continue to send our babies to school with people that think that we only are dummies and that we're only good for making babies and having sex. Listen, if you like what you hear, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time in the mental house. Bye, y'all. Thanks for letting me rant.